I'm going to ask that this room be cleared right now. With the Capitol Police, please come in and clear the room. John, let's. All signs out.
You are betraying democracy when you assassinate suspects. You are betraying democracy.
If the Capitol Police will clear the room, please.
John Brennan is still in favor of extraordinary rendition. He was third in command after the CIA during Carter. He never spoke out against it. You are traitors if you drink that bad. You are traitors to democracy.
Please clear the room. Please clear the room. All right, I think we should clear the entire room and only let people back in. What do you think? I think they're not going to...
I'd just see if we couldn't get this. Well, they need more Capitol Police is what they need.
Yeah, let's get more. Okay, we'll try and start. Begin this hearing, and let me say right up front that the process is that people are respectful, that they don't cheer, they don't hiss, they don't show signs, that this is to listen. If that's a problem for anybody, I ask you to leave the room now. From the room. Let there be no doubt. So, if I may, I would like to begin. The committee meets today in open session to consider the nomination of John Brennan to be the 21st Director of the Central Intelligence Agency and the first director to have risen through the agency's ranks since Bob Gates. Mr. Brennan, congratulations on your nomination. I see Senator Warner has come in. Senator, I will make opening comments. The Vice Chairman will make opening comments, and then we will turn to you for your introduction, if that's agreeable. Mr. Brennan, congratulations on your nominations. As you can see, it's going to be lively. I'd like to welcome your family as well, and hope you'll introduce them so the committee can give them its thanks. This is the first opportunity also to welcome our new members. Senator Heinrich, who is on my right, Senator King, who is due any moment, Senator Collins, who is on my left, and Senator Coburn, who is not here at the moment but will be, who is returning to the committee. We have a new ex officio member, Senator Inhofe. So welcome to all of you. The director of the CIA is among the most critical national security positions in the United States government, both because of the role the CIA plays in collecting and analyzing intelligence relevant to every national security challenge we face, and because of the added importance of having steady leadership at an organization that conducts most of its business outside of the public arena. Intelligence is critical to the successful drawdown in Afghanistan, to the brutal war going on within Syria's borders, across North Africa, where the attacks in Benghazi and hostage situation in Algeria threaten to spread into the next front against al-Qaeda and its affiliated groups, for counterterrorism operations around the world, in the efforts by the United States and others to prevent the gain and spread of weapons of mass destruction in Iran, North Korea, and other states, and in addressing emerging threats in space, cyberspace, and elsewhere around the globe. To confront these challenges and to lead the CIA through a difficult budgetary period, after a decade of major budget increases, President Obama nominated John Brennan, his closest advisor on intelligence and counterterrorism matters for the past 4 years. Mr. Brennan is without a doubt qualified for this position. He served at the CIA for 25 years in analytic, operational, and managerial capacities. He has seen the agency from just about every angle, as a line analyst, as chief of station, as chief of staff to the director, and as the deputy executive director, among many others. People who have worked closely with him regularly cite his work ethic, his integrity, and his determination. In nominating John Brennan, President Obama spoke of his, quote, commitment to the values that define us as Americans. DNI Clapper, in a letter of support, noted his impeccable integrity, and his dedication to country is second to none. So with unanimous consent, I would like to insert into the record letters the committee has received in regard to Mr. Brennan's nomination. John Brennan, by all accounts, will be a strong leader, guided firmly by the law and his strong ethical code. He has assured the committee in his response to pre-hearing questions that he will be independent from political influence. He will seek only to provide the President, the Congress, and other leaders with his best analysis and advice. His responses to the committee's questions are available on the committee's website at www.intelligence.senate.gov. Of course, the committee must conduct its due diligence on such an important nominee. So members are going to have questions in a range of topics, including his plans for directing the agency, major national security challenges we face, positions and actions he has taken in his current and past jobs. Also of interest will be Mr. Brennan's views on the use of targeted lethal force in counterterrorism operations. Mr. Brennan has been one of the few administration officials able to speak publicly about such issues. Members will certainly want to understand his views on this, to include the importance of Congress receiving all of the relevant legal analyses from the Office of Legal Counsel at the Department of Justice. While the disclosure earlier this week of a 16-page unclassified white paper on the government's legal analysis of the use of targeted force against a United States citizen who was a senior operational leader of al-Qaeda, there is finally more information available to the public. I've been calling, and others have been calling, the Vice Chairman and I, on the use of for increased transparency on the use of targeted force for over a year, including the circumstances in which such force is directed against U.S. citizens and non-citizens alike. I've also been attempting to speak publicly about the very low number of civilian casualties that result from such strikes. I have been limited in my ability to do so. But for the past several years, this committee has done significant oversight of the government's conduct of targeted strikes, and the figures we have obtained from the executive branch, which we have done our utmost to verify, confirm that the number of civilian casualties that have resulted from such strikes each year has typically been in the single digits. When I ask to give out the actual numbers, I'm told you can't. And I say, why not? Because it's classified. It's a covert program. For the public, it doesn't exist. Well, I think that rationale, Mr. Brennan, is long gone. And I'm going to talk to you in my questions a little bit about that, because I think it's very important that we share this data with people. This committee will continue to perform significant oversight of targeted strikes. We received this morning an Office of Legal Counsel opinion on the topic. Actually, we received a short one and a long one. And while I was there, I was delighted to see Senator Wyden reading, Senator Kaine in the room, Senator Udall came in the room, and I'm hopeful that every member will avail of themselves of this opportunity to review those OLC opinions. I also intend to review proposals for legislation to ensure that drone strikes are carried out in a manner consistent with our values, and the proposal to create an analog of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court to review the conduct of such strikes. Finally, I will want to know how the nominee intends to lead an agency that's had 4 directors since DCI Tenet resigned in July of '04, now in a budget downturn, and what he sees as the major challenges before the CIA. For the information of members, we will have rounds of questions of 8 minutes each, and members will be recognized by seniority, alternating between the sides. Members have requested the opportunity to ask Mr. Brennan questions that will require classified answers as well. So we have the ability to move to a classified session following this hearing if it is timely and we're able to do so. So my suggestion is that we play that ear by ear, Mr. Vice Chairman, and see if it's possible to do so. If it isn't, we will have our closed session on Tuesday at our next hearing. Finally, before turning to the Vice Chairman, I'd like to conclude my remarks the same way I did at the confirmation for General Petraeus. Again, this time, the transition between CIA directors has been managed by Acting Director Michael Morrell. I'd like to thank Mr. Morrell for keeping the agency on firm footing and for his agreement to remain as Deputy Director after the confirmation process. He continues to be a top-notch CIA officer, a friend of the committee, and I'm sure he will be an excellent deputy, Mr. Brennan. Mr. Vice Chairman, please proceed.